Absolutely. Because you notice kids when they're playing and it's all the imagination and all these things. I mean, they're not analyzing, they're not doing any of that. They're completely in their world and it's all there, and
It
that's how
just,
this works. They are creating their world. There's nothing in them going, oh, but I don't know. I wonder. No, they just go full force right into it. And
it,
it is all there. And
they're
that's,
doing.
yes, so everybody,
Mhm.
that's the secret.
Totally. And if I've
Simple it
got,
is, and that's the secret.
uh, that's the secret. And very much when I was doing my level 1 and level 2, I was just all the time I was just getting bombarded with don't worry about the how, don't worry about the why,
Yeah,
just do,
yeah,
just do.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Okay, they're
okay,
saying right now,
I can do that.
absolutely, they're saying use that same philosophy so that anybody that's concerned about how am I going to, they're new coming out and how am I going to get my sessions? How am I going to do this? They're saying that is exactly where you need to go with it. Just do, just,
Just do.
just do. Don't worry about all the other stuff. It will work out. It's
Mm-hmm.
a big trust thing that's part of, I think, this time right now is developing the trust and the faith. And just do.
Yep, totally. Just do. And then I was talking to Kyra about it just before I applied for my level 3, and I said, "Man, my messages just got changed." And he said, "Well, what is it?" And I said, "Instead of just do, it said just be."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Okay.
The juicy bits. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's my I call my conscious mind Scooby Doo.
So
It's like,
John,
ooh.
what's one of the past lives that you've taken someone through, if it's okay to share it? What's one of the maybe the strangest ones that you've had somebody go into?
Strangest, or most profound, or whatever.
Yeah, one that stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one the other day, I just put a blog on the QHHT forum. I sent it to Lara, but this guy came in, and wow, just sometimes you just really have to hold your nerve. And he went up into a spaceship, which is nothing odd about that. And they were working on him, but while there was, it sounds
It's not in our
welcome to
world.
my world.
Not in our world, no.
But he had 2 ETs just working on his body, and he was in his current body. It's like, yeah, that's cool. And then I said, is there anywhere else that you want to go or you want to do or anything like that? And he said, well, now I'm actually drifting out. And he said, I'm seeing like a sun, but it's brighter and it's bigger. And he goes, I'm heading towards it. I'm floating towards it. I was like, wow, that's cool. And so he actually morphed into it. And I said, well, how does that feel? And he's like, oh, it's lovely. It's so nice. And then he just froze, like took a big gasp. And he said, I see a shadow coming towards me. And then he realized it was fear. And he was just petrified. And it's really important as a practitioner to hold your nerve and just to trust. And as the shadow got closer and closer, he was honestly so petrified that it sort of morphed into him. And then when it came out, it was next to him. And I said to him, well, it's next to you. Do you want to talk to it or say anything? And he couldn't face it. And then he went back down. The shadow went away. And then he went back down into the spaceship and he came out. And then when I was talking to his higher self about it, his higher self said he's very much failed the test. And I said, what test? I said, give me your opinion on it. And he said, the fear, he thinks it's real. And he said he wouldn't face it. I was like, so what's your opinion on it? He said, it's an illusion. It's like, wow. But people get caught up in that fear and it overwhelms them and it stops them in their tracks. They just go,
Wow.
and it was a huge lesson. It was really powerful. really, really powerful.
Yes. What
And
a great story.
I'll never forget that one.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool. So cool. And when he listens back to it, it's just going to trigger everything off. And what his higher self told him, it's like, wow,
mhm. Well, I was going
this
to
whole
ask next.
life
I was
changed
going
because
to
of
ask,
that.
you know, because Tracy was asking about the most, you know, the most profound session that, you know, you remember. And I was going to ask next about healing, but look at the healing that would have come from that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. That's
Oh,
amazing.
totally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally. He felt the fear and he was petrified.
Yeah.
He was just, I've never seen anything like it. And it lasted for about 60 seconds, but he will never feel so scared in his life, ever. So whatever challenges he faces now, he'll be like, well, it can't be as worse as that.
True. I faced fear. Well, I didn't face fear, but I was right there with it.
Mm.
But you know, even telling that story is
He was right there with it, and I.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Dad.
totally.
I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's right. And I gave him the opportunity to face it. I gave him the opportunity to face it and speak to him, and he couldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So and then it just went, and then so I was very curious and talking to his higher self about it.
Well, and that's what's so cool is because
That was
the higher self had that to say about it. Now he will probably be different the next time he faces fear, or he you know, because he's gotten a different perspective.
Oh, totally, 100%.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.